How long does it take to shoot a movie? We're going to answer this in a couple of chapters. Shoot duration that's based on budget, what impacts a film schedule, and then 4 example movies that get you an idea for what it takes. Micro-budget and low-budget films film typically in 10 to 30 days. They use limited locations, they have smaller cast and crew, and fewer special effects, and on average, shorter scripts. Larger independent films typically shoot in 20 to 45 days. They use moderate number of cast and crew, they have more complex scenes, and they use varied locations. Studio and high-budget films sometimes shoot in 60 to 120 days. They are larger scale productions, they have extensive special effects, and they have complex action sequences if they're an action film. They also have a longer list of locations and substantial cast, crew, and extras. Now, blockbusters and epics will shoot anywhere from 120 to 200 plus days. They are incredibly complex films with significant special effects intertwined into many or most scenes. They have extensive location and destination shoots. They have large casts and a high number of extras, and they frequently have much larger scripts. Here's a list of things that impact a film's schedule. Script complexity and length, like page count, 1 page per minute of screen time roughly. The complexity, complex scenes, asks for special effects and stunts, and elaborate sets all impact that. There is the location, so the number of locations where you need to shoot, the distance and accessibility to those locations. There's the whole list of cast and crew, the size and coordination and logistics of larger cast and crew add a ton of time. There's the level of availability. If you have special or key talent with specific windows of availability that can dictate how long you can shoot and when you can shoot. Special effects and stunts have a huge impact when they're done well and done safely. Frequently, these involve planning and practice and time for setup and execution and any extra safety precautions that are needed. Something else that can impact your shoot time is weather and other external factors. If something unpredictable could happen, it probably will happen. Outdoor shoots are always subject to weather delays. Now let's talk about budget. Here's the weird way that budgets impact your budget. Sounds weird, right? The availability of resources. If you have a high budget, you're actually more likely to have more resources. And more resources can mean streamlined production processes, but budgets can also mean higher expectations for unique experience, which takes us to other efficiencies. Lower budgets may require more careful planning and lead to more efficient shooting, which shortens your shooting window. Let me give you 4 example movies. 2007's Paranormal Activity was actually shot in only 7 days using a single location and minimal cast and crew. 2016's favorite indie, Moonlight, was shot in 25 days, and it had a deep focus on the narrative story, which kept locations and characters low and let them do it in 25 days. Now, the first Avengers movie in 2012 was shot in 92 days. It had a high budget, it had superhero effects and a large cast, and that took 92 days. Now compare that to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which came out between 2001 and 2003. It was actually shot in 438 days. Now, those 438 days were dedicated to all 3 films, which were shot back to back with a massive cast, a massive crew, complex sets, far-reaching locations, and huge effects. What's the longest or shortest feature film shoot you've ever been a part of? If this is your first film, how long are you planning for your shoot to be? Let me know in the comments. The duration of shooting a movie can vary widely based on the project's scope, complexity, and resources. Micro-budget films might be shot in just a few weeks, while large-scale blockbusters can take several months or even a year in some of the worst cases. The one thing I will say is there is no direct correlation between how good your film is and how many days you spent filming it. So think small, think efficiently. Effective planning, efficient use of resources, and adaptability to unforeseen challenges are key to managing the shooting schedule of any film.